Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the North American Challenger League, NACL. It's been a great season, but all the good things have to come to an end. And in our last game of the evening, we're going to see a little bit something special here as Cognitive Gaming take on Team Coast.
And I got a quick announcement. Tomorrow at 1:30 p.m., the casters will be doing an AMA on Reddit, so you guys should be checking out r/League of Legends, and we're going to be announcing some stuff for the playoffs that should be pretty cool, some big stuff overall, but that'll wait until tomorrow. So, tomorrow AMA at 1:30 p.m. Initiation, though, onto Nintendo Dex!
Oh, Nintendo, please. I'm actually not loaded into the game yet because it's stalled, so why don't you take this one away, Studio?
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Oh, whoops. Looks like we're having some issues tech-wise where my microphone was not working and Rapid was not loading into the game. So, welcome to the game. Unfortunately, Nintendo Dex could not get that Vault Breaker over the wall, so as a result had to burn his flash before the minute 40 mark, which means that Rapid should be back soon, and Nintendo Dex is going to have some trouble going for the Vault Breaker flash gank that we've seen happen quite often. It gives him like a 1,000-1,100 range gank, combining the two spells. And I have a quick announcement. We have a caster AMA and a staff AMA tomorrow at 1 p.m. Daydreaming taking some pressure from nothing here. Gonna walk forward, gonna get hit by the binding. A lot of damage coming out. Walks into everything but the stun. It's superb, hitting all three members of Cognitive, and Daydreaming does survive with that built-up anti-stun. I mean, AoE stuns are pretty strong. You don't see a whole lot of them on level 1 champions.
Okay, I am back. Apologies for the technical difficulties, but it wouldn't be the end of a great season without a little bit of something special there. So they cannot stop me from returning for the last game of the night. I am here, and Zion Spartan's here too. He's going to be taking down the blue buff before returning to that top lane. So nice to see him using that passive from Kha'Zix. The only difference is that he's used every single one of his items before he comes into lane. So that's going to be a little bit of something special. Captain Ziplock's actually talking about being AFK. The jungle Morgana gank's not really working out, but he's got a little minion buddy following him back into his jungle.
He's got his friend, his adoring fan, who will actually now rotate towards the turret and die. He accidentally denied his team a minion. Which is just completely awesome. Top lane Zion Spartan, Chris dueling though. Chris taking the advantage right now. Zion Spartan does have that blue buff, so he'll be able to sustain quite well in the void spikes. Nothing here in the bot lane takes a lot of damage. One more tick. The heal comes out from Zane King, keeping him alive.
It's the support Dr. Mundo, man. I'm telling you, top lane, we got to keep an eye out on Chris. Zion gets the flash. There's the auto attack. Will the last turret shot grab it? Away it is. A counter kill, 1 for 1. But first blood over to Zion Spartan.
A very, very even game so far. Just kill for kill, jungle for jungle. The jungle control did go towards Coast, picking up that blue buff with Zion Spartan steal. But in the end result, it's still 1 for 1. The question is who has lane control. You can see Chris, he has a little bit less gold. He's going to show up the lane though with Doran's shield and Doran's blade, which is a lot more efficient than the 2 longswords Zion Spartan has. If you look at the minion wave, there's a big fat minion wave. He's not going to get the cannon minion, but he should be able to pick up a lot of experience. He can show up, in the next few seconds to pick up all those little minions. All
right, bottom lane, we got Zamfira coming in. Spell shields, the anti-stun, and Daydreaming, no recourse. The Zamfira gank actually turning that around, and now it's actually going to be Wiz Fusion. Takes the turret shot on the bad side of that turret, will go down. Zamfira and Ziplock, man, double Z lane working out for Cognitive is the end of the alphabet and of Wiz Fusion and Daydreaming's reign of terror down bottom.
Wiz Fusion did pick up that kill, but Jungle Morgana getting kills, it's a pretty big deal. Just because it's going to push her towards that Spirit Stone. She doesn't need items to effectively gank because it's based entirely off that Dark Binding initiation early on. Later on, going to be based off using her ultimate, the Soul Shackles, into a fighting. Top lane Chris takes a lot of damage.
Chris in trouble!
He's fighting though, but he's able to stay alive. I mean, Zion Spartan, if he gets the jump onto him, gets that burst, it tears him to pieces.
Especially Chris. getting isolated there. A lot of bonus damage. Captain Ziplock's doing minion ganks. When he walks into the lane, throws down the Tormented Soil, and then walks right back out. He's full health, but he hasn't really jungled yet, so we'll have to see how he takes on the epic jungle monsters like the White in the bottom lane, though nothing here takes a lot of damage. Daydreaming, down to half health, but nothing here is going to need some extra special sustain. With 5 health potions in his inventory, should be able to do that pretty well.
He knows that in the end, his laning is not going to be that powerful, especially early on, where any Lucian damage is insane. Top lane, Chris is actually back at full HP. He had a lot of sustain himself. Downfront gets a pressure rate on him, gets a jump. Morgana in the area, though.
Captain Ziplock looking to come around the corner.
You believe that?
I am somewhat skeptical, not quite on Atheist level just yet, but we're going to see how Nintendo X fares against Captain Ziplock, knocks him around. Is this going to be enough? Ziplock throws down the Tormented Soil. Chris gets the Black Shield and a Flash. He's going to be disengaging, throws the Bolo out on to Nintendo X just to slow him away. There's a Dark Binding now. Shifter coming up. Is Ziplock going to be able to make it out of this one? The answer is yes. But the gank success rate for Morgana is slightly low, but with 2 kills already, something's going right.
1 for 3, but that one was a pretty huge with the 2-for-1 pickup. So in the end, Captain Ziplock couldn't get that proper alignment, and now you can see they're going for it again. The binding lands. The Ziplock gank is successful.
The power.
There you go. There is Jungle Morgana.
The struggle of top lane, too real for Zion Spartan as he will go down. Does have that brutalizer, but I gotta say, the sort of the occult first rush there for Zamfira. We've seen him go stacking items before, but not necessarily as a first item here. There used to be a bug where if you bought a stacking item and then sold it and then rebought it or undid your purchase, it would actually give you infinite stacks on it. So that, unfortunately, is the only situation I've ever seen stacking items rushed right off the bat. But for Zamfira, we'll see if he can make it work out in his lane versus Shifter's Ezreal.
I think here in the bot lane takes a lot of damage. Does get bursted down. That was Fusion, Daydream combo. Just too much high burst damage. And yeah, that was probably the only time Rush... actually, no. Magi Soul Stealer used to be a really good Rush item back in beta when it did not lose stacks but cost a lot more gold. But gave 140 AP once it was maxed out. That item was awesome. But that was a different time, a different age. Regardless, though, some context, I believe Zamfira does want both teams to buy stack items, however, no one else agreed to it, so he might be on his own. Kind of like that one guy that said, let's all flunk the test so that way the professor doesn't have to give us he can't fail us all, then no one else does it. Now,
I believe there's actually a psychological term for that, Studio, but I wouldn't know about that. So.
That's entering game theory and stuff like that, and let's not do that.
Definitely not something that I studied for at least 3 years in my post-grad, but either way, nothing here in Zayking in the bottom lane. It's been making, I don't know, something out of nothing, I feel. They are down 2 deaths, rather, but relatively effective, I gotta say. For the meantime, it's Ziplock and Zane and Zamfira together forever, no matter how long, except not, as Ziplock goes back to his blue buff, which apparently will not be being donated away. I don't think Zamfira can count on too many of those, as Jungle Morgana needs as much help as she can get.
The unfortunate thing is Zamfira actually still needs a blue buff. Going up against Ezreal with blue buff is a huge pain in the butt, especially AP Ezreal, and Zamfira I think mostly needs it for the cooldown reduction. The good news is that because Ezreal does spam a lot of skills out, if Zamfira can absorb one with a spell shield, can try and sustain mana that way, but it's actually a pretty brutal lane. The against Ezreal to keep pushing non-stop, keep going for constant missing shot and arcane for essence plus harass. And Zipper only blocked it every now and then. Top lane though, Zion Spartan jukes the binding.
He's going underneath the turret. Oh, there's the flash there. Ziplock's gonna take a turret shot. Jungle Morgana, what are you doing? The black shield, not enough. Not blocking any damage there from the turret. Ziplock goes down. Perfectly played there by Zion Spartan. It's a kill and a blue buff for himself.
Ziplock just deciding to try and go for the black shield to mitigate physical damage. Shifter now being chased down by Chris, but Chris gonna make a couple friends as Tendudex has shown up. Was aware of it, seeing if he could just kind of stall them out for a bit. The problem really was that, I mean, Ziplock, I think he thought he was safe, but Black Shield does nothing in that case. Even if he landed the binding, he might have been looking for a Soul Shackles, but even then, he would have died before the Soul Shackles proc. I have just no idea what he was actually doing. Black Shield prevents the following things against Zion Spartan. His passive damage and his passive slow. That's it.
In the absence of a pro player pick series, we need a challenger player pick series so that Zion can tell us why he picks the other team to have a jungle Morgana, so that he can pick up dice kills like that. Looking for a last whisper after that, but in the bottom lane, Daydream, it takes a ton of damage. The shield intervention there onto Zane King, but probably misclick there as nothing here took a little bit too much damage. Zane King will find another kill for himself, but it's a double for Wiz Fusion, closing down that bottom lane.
In the jungle, Captain Ziploc applies the black shield to himself, but he's made a few too many friends. Flashes over the wall. Still dies, though, to that Lucian chase damage. Captain Ziploc, I mean, he's had some great play. He's had some interesting plays. Not sure what to think of some of them. But regardless, 2 more kills, 3 more in total, actually, going towards Coast. The problem is, I think nothing here thought that Zane King would be the one focused down. I think that the ultimate was on purpose, but the problem is, like, Wiz Fusion and Daydream, they realized, alright, we can try and burst down Zane King. The Mundo with barrier and heal, or go for the Kale. The Kale that use the intervention on the Mundo. I just don't think they expected that response. Zamfira does block Vault Breaker, takes some damage though, as intended X roams mid lane.
Alright, so yeah, Zamfira, nice job dodging out from that gank. He has now a Vampiric Scepter, which is the only non-stacking item in his inventory other than the Duran's Blade and of course the health potions. So
you stack health potions.
I guess so. You can get some stacks for health potions, so I fear that for Zamfira that will be the only amount of stacks that he gets in his inventory, but we'll have to see. Great mid laner, and will he be going... he's going up against one of the other great mid laners of NACL in Shifter. Wiz Fusion, bottom lane barrier. Keep in mind this Cleaver! Long range Zane King making support Mundo work. Daydream force flash, another Cleaver lands. Will Zane King be able to get there underneath the turret? He does have sadism on. Turret shot notwithstanding, it's the support anti-kill. Top lane though, the damage from Jungle Morgana killing off Zion Sport and my vocal cords simultaneously. Please, Zion Sport, no, he's gonna get the heal off of the Void Spikes and leap away to his turret. Chris won't be able to follow that up. But the escape, the struggle, so strong there. Top lane, Zion Spartan not even going back to base, is going to stay in lane. Look to sustain through this turret.
I gotta say, looking mid lane for a sec. Actually, Nintendo X now back in the top lane. They do have Zion Spartan with a bit of HP. They could go for a fight, but it looks like both teams will just try and chase the other out. Mid lane, there was a brief moment where Zamfira was actually just kind of sitting there dancing. Shifter walked up, got a and Chris was too low on HP to actually walk into the brush. He would have just died from isolation. The binding does land on the Zion Spartan though. Can they pick up the kill now? No, the ultimate's also available on Zion. Not going for that chase.
Top lane, Zion Spartan. He does get bound deep underneath the turret. He's gonna go down. Chris on a killing spree takes him out. Cognitive fired back. Another assist for Ziplocs at Jungle Morgana.
Daydream does get hit by a Cleaver. They can maybe go for some chase. And actually, Shifter taken incredibly low. Zamfira landing one of those amazing boomerang blades that just completely destroys someone. As a result, Shifter going to have to go back to base. Zamfira can't go for some push, exactly what a Sivir wants to be doing.
Nintendo Dex is going to be there in the mid lane trying to clear that out, but Zamfira is just dancing in front of the turret. One of the great things about playing Sivir is that as soon as you get some decent AD, you just 2 spells and you one-shot the minion waves. So a lot of CS is going to come Zamfira's way. You can see 134 at 14 minutes.
The only unfortunate thing is that he's got a lot of CS, yeah, but you know what he doesn't have any of? Stacks for his Sword of the Occult. So still just using that base 10 AD. The item, of course, now very inefficient. I want to see Sivir stack up because Sword of the Occult, especially on Sivir, who gets so much damage from Boomerang Blade, is hilarious. Chris out using the ultimate. The problem is he's going to walk into a pink ward. There was actually another backup pink ward in case he gone deeper into the river, but will be safe in the end. Pops the ultimate, sees the pink ward goes down, and he immediately retreats.
Yeah, that pink ward was like an owl to the pigeon that was Chris's Rengar. He sees it and is like, oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on there. Better back away. Now Chris will back on up to the top lane as Zion Spartan, he's pushing it back out. Turret is down though, so Zion doesn't have anywhere to run if Chris wants to pick a fight.
Chris, though, going to focus on that minion wave reaching his turret. Doesn't have the ultimate available as well, so Zion Spartan might have been able just to walk away, popping that little Kazakh stealth with a Void Assault. Now, what is the plan for either team? Zion Spartan can keep trying to lane versus Chris, but Chris has finished Sunfire Cape, and that is a huge power spike. Zamfira has also just been pushing in mid lane a lot. The problem is going to be, what if I can ever get a successful Assault and Battery off? Which, you know, if Ezreal can get a Spell Shield, not too hard for him to do. That's a very, very easy gank on the Sivir. In the end, I think a lot of pressure is going to keep going bot lane with Daydream and Wiz Fusion able to very quickly burst down Nothing Here despite the kill ultimate. And Nintendo X can very easily follow that up with Assault and Battery. Use that to initiate. Daydream, though, in a bit of trouble. Never mind.
Alright. Zane King, though, will get culled in the bottom lane as Wiz Fusion takes him out at long range. The bigger thing, though, is that Nothing Here now in a lot of trouble. No dives, though, for Wiz Fusion as he does take up that turret, but Nothing Here. He's gonna be a little lonely there for a while. 10 seconds until Zane King respawns. Bottom turret will not be very alive for very long. Does fall. First turret of the game, though, for Coast.
I mean, the issue there was that, unfortunately, even though Zane King and Nothing Here rush forward, they still hadn't really dealt with the anti-burst damage. And Nothing Here now a ton of danger. Will be A-okay in the very end. Actually, no! Walks back into the piercing light! And there goes Kale. Here comes a push from Coast. This turret not long for this world.
Yeah, there goes Kale. Here comes Vi, Nintendo X, along with Wiz Fusion and Daydream, and taking down what looks to be a second turret there in the bottom lane with only Zane King's cleavers to try and stop it. Will fall 2-2 now in turrets. Chris, though, Thrill of the Hunt going down, looking to catch in onto at least Wiz Fusion, maybe Daydreaming. That's actually going to be the Talisman of Ascension as the flash in from Jungle Morgana. Ziploc going to lock down Wiz Fusion. He's going to fall. Another kill goes the way of the Jungle Morgana. Ziploc walks away with a kill.
The Jungle Morgana aggressive gank
power
onto Wiz Fusion. It's just like, how are you going to get away from that, man? You got nothing. It's just too good. Now, Dragon being attempted by Cognitive, or at least in the area. Favor does land on Zion. Spartan does have the lead, does have the ultimate available. They need to pick this up relatively soon. A lot of burst damage coming out. That's cool.
Oh, Chris is going to go in. Zion very low, will leap away defensively. Chris will follow with a leap of his own. We haven't hit that point where we can have the hunt activated, but going through the turret, there's intervention, keeping Chris alive. Nothing Here with the buddy dive.
And the intervention, of course, had one more shot from that turret landed onto Chris. That would have been a kill. So definitely a huge ultimate there. Dragon hasn't been picked up, but they at least got a kill. They at least get some control and some pressure. Nintendo Dex looking for Chris. He actually just smites the blue rays, getting the bulk of the gold that Chris was just looking for. That's got to sting, but hey, you know, that's what you do when you're a jungler. You see that open blue ray, you pick it right up. And of course, Dragon now going towards Cognitive as they rotated right back to it after that the chase down on Zion Spartan.
And Ziploc didn't even smite that dragon away, but still gets the kill there. Jungle Morgana now looking to take a blue buff away for herself. I don't know how this works. Like, I'm watching Captain Ziploc auto-attack these buffs, and I'm just like, I mean, I feel like any champion could do that, but somehow it's working out. 3-2 and 2, a credit to Captain Ziploc's prowess as one of the better North American Jungle Morganas.
A
which there are
long
few.
list that we can always account to with the popularity of Morgana, both solo queue and competitive play. I mean, it actually works. Like, the bindings from the initial like level 2, level 3 ganks are huge. Especially some of the ones that like almost on spot lane and some of the ones that did land were just tremendous and actually kept a lot of the lanes alive. I'm behind it now. But the problem is those bindings are hard to land, and her jungle's a bit odd. It's mostly about just kind of sitting there, focusing down the target you want to burst down quickly, and using Tormented Soul scaling damage to really take people out. Chris trying to chase down Nintendo Dex though.
Oh, going in, there's the ultimate Soul Shackle blocking it down, but is it going to be enough? There's the untimely demise of Captain Ziploc. Gets his freshness locked away for 20 more seconds until he respawns.
Captain Ziploc trying to retreat to his own turret. However, retreating versus a Vi combination. Nintendo Dex looking for the Vault Breaker one more time.
Oh, Nintendo Dex looks to go in. There's a preemptive intervention there onto Nothing Here. Whether or not that's going to be effective, we'll have to see. Wave clear to come out there, but Zamfira just cannot clear that in time. Chris getting bursted down. Zion gets the reset underneath the turret. Nintendo forced to flash away. Wiz Fusion takes the turret, grabs a kill, taking out Zamfira, and picking up his 8th kill of the game.
This turret push now from Coast without Captain Ziploc there to stop any sort of initiation, like they're just gonna focus on someone like Chris, even though he's tanky. They don't care about that. And now Captain Ziploc back in the area. Can they hold his turret? It's gonna be difficult for them. Actually, moving forward, the lead from Zion Spartan picks up a kill. He's got it backed up because of that reset. Now Ziploc might go down one more time. One more shot would do it. The red buff might actually take him down, but he survives with 35 HP. This is looking pretty bad for Cognitive, man. I think Jungle Morgana might have fallen off.
You know, I'm starting to see some holes in the Jungle Morgana strategy, and while I am not criticizing his champion choice or the way that he is playing it, I am merely stating that there may be some pros, but there are certainly a few cons to Jungle Morgana, one of them possibly being losing the game.
Real talk. Jungle Morgana, if she had a Zonias, would be really effective. Morgana with Zonias, even as support, is amazing.
She's working on it, man.
He doesn't have it, though. It's 21 minutes in. No Zonias on the Morgana.
Oh, Chris jumps over the wall onto Zion Spartan. Can he take him down? Zion's going to jump away under the Ignite. And Chris winning out his lore matchup there in the top lane. And the untimely demise of Zion Spartan. The struggle continues for top lane.
That will unfortunately almost always be a matchup Zion Spartan loses at this point. Just because, alright, he got a lot of damage. He actually does quite a bit of pain. But Chris built tanky, he can survive that damage very efficiently. So, alright, that was a low HP Zion Spartan to begin with, but even with unless he's isolated, Chris can actually just kind of mitigate Zion Spartan's burst damage, and as a result, it's going to be a tough lane for Zion Spartan to survive in. However, he can kill everybody else quite easily. Ziploc, Zamfira, nothing here, Zay King, unless nothing here gets good ult off. Someone's going down if he leaps on him. And I gotta say, you know, we're making jokes about the Jungle Morgana. The AP bottom lane Kale, with 4 Doran's Ring, a 3 Doran's Ring, and a Nashor's Tooth, she sold one, but to finish the Nashor's Tooth. Don't know if it's really going that well. Might be a bit behind as well.
A bit. Also, for everybody wanting the quest to happen between Zion Spartan and Chris, it only happens in normal games. This is a tournament game. Chris going in onto Zion. Ziploc is going to turn that from a 1v1 into a 2v1. Leap away there from Zion. Ziploc's just going to tank the turret up. Zion may be able to turn this around once again. There's the slope with the leap in from or onto Zion. Dark Binding will hit a minion. And in the 2v1, Ziploc or Zion Spartan survives. Oh my god. Where's Nintendude, please! He wants to get the assault and battery. Dark Binding will miss once again. Zion Spartan's gonna jump away from Chris. Can Nintendude turn this around? He's gonna flash. He wants to jump onto a minion. Can he find it? Zion Spartan's gonna try to sustain up there. There's the Nintendude onto Chris. He's gonna get the empowered battle roar to heal himself up. Nintendude's going deep underneath that turret. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we're gonna see a killing spree. Can Chris get away in time? He's gonna try to turn this one around. Gets the battle roar for the heal. Is he gonna survive? The answer, no. Zion Spartan and Nintendude X collectively taking him down. Bottom lane, though, we already saw some struggles as Wiz Fusion getting some help there from Daydreamin', who did pick up a kill there onto Zamfira and Zane King, ending out their alphabetical lives down there in the bottom lane. And now, first base turn of the game looks to be taken by Chico.
Nothing here takes a lot of damage blocking towards his turret. Immediately taken down to 200 HP. Not a very tanky champion. It is the AP kill. And
Ziploc.
What is he doing? He's just gonna die. That was like a second and a half. That wasn't even close to the 3-second channel of Soul Shackles. Unfortunately, Captain Ziploc without Zonias, he's just gonna die, and he's gonna die so quickly.
He didn't expect them to trick it ward that bush, and to be honest, who trick it wards that bush? And suddenly, a Wild Morgana appears. That's why you don't walk into tall grass studio, you can find Wild Morganas.
Wild Morganas and wild other things, and Hidex is able to get picked off. Of course, you know, the screen flashes, it plays that music, and sometimes you don't want to fight that level 3 Morgana. But regardless, this is pretty bad if you're a member of Cognitive and you want to win this game. If you don't want to win this game, it's looking great. But if you want to win the game, Captain Ziploc needs his Zonias, and he's not that close. Still needs to finish up the Seeker's Arm Guard and just purchase the item itself. Daydreamer might get caught out here. Does have a stun available, though, and his stuns have been on point.
Yeah, he's going to drop the stun, but unfortunately will drop down as one kill right after another. That's actually going to be Chris forcing the leap out from Zion Spartan. He's going to disengage. In the meantime, Wiz Fusion's busy taking down the dragon. Will secure the, I think that's the first dragon of the game for Team Coast. Yeah, so ties it up at 1-1. In the meantime, the more important objective, Cognitive on to Baron.
Hashtag big plays, Rapid. Hashtag big plays, because they can take this down quickly, but they're taking a lot of damage. Zion Spartans can get some resets if this team does back them up to him. Hiding lands on Intended X. It actually secures the Baron, and they're just going to walk out of this. If Coast can't get initiation, they'll have gotten that Baron for free, but now they're moving forward. They'll get some damage off, but unfortunately, Intended X just not close enough. Daydream not in the area, having died. And that's a Baron. That might be their chance to come back.
All right, it's League of Baron, and there for Zamfira especially. Looking for even more stacks there. Nintendo looking to turn things down. Ashes and dust all over Zamfira. Nobody wants him to get those stacks. The leap in from Zion Spartan closes him down. Zion falls, so does Captain Ziploc. With Fusion trying to get a kill in between the turrets. Decides to back on off until the turret actually dies. 6-2 in turrets is Coast, pushing in for their second base turret of the game.
Ultimate comes out from Chris. The intervention is used. Unfortunately, no damage being blocked by the intervention. Nothing here. Able to protect Chris now as the damage comes out. With Fusion taken down low, though. Nothing here. Might try and chase him down.
Wiz Fusion does get the barrier just enough to allow him the auto attack to get the lifesteal to sustain him back up. He stays alive, disengages, and that's going to be another kill for Team Coast. Up 10 now as they look to take down their second base turret of the game.
Something Cognitive are doing is, unfortunately, you can kind of tell that Nothing here may not be the most use to kill, but they're using intervention at the start of a fight right away. Which, alright, it's a good idea to use it early on in the fight rather than as like a last-second saver, just because you block a lot of damage that way, and people can still fight after the ultimate wears off. But because they're using it right away, they're using it before Coast can respond, and Coast, their human reactions are like, oh, we're being initiated on, let's fight. But let's not hit the guy that has intervention because he came into the fight with intervention on. Let's just ignore him and go for someone else. And as a result, intervention is doing nothing because Coast are just kind of waiting it out as it's already being used when the fight starts. Now, 8,000 gold advantage for Coast. They have one inhibitor down bot lane, 4 members strong. We're Cognitive in the mid lane, and Nothing here headed there as well. They might lose their next, and they're going to lose their Captain Ziploc, who's just so squishy.
Difficult. The Black Shield, somewhat less effective than Captain Ziploc was expecting there. He will fall. A Shifter, by the way, we should probably mention that he is playing AP Ezreal instead of the AD, so it's not an AD carry versus AD carry matchup. He's 3-0-6 on, I believe, the second AP Ezreal that we've seen in NACL.
I believe it is. The bottom inhibitor has respawn for Cognitive. Captain Ziploc will be back up in 5 seconds. I mean, he's 3-7-3, not a high level, and it's only 28 minutes in the game. He respawns relatively quickly. This might be the final push from Coast, though. If they want to fight here, that's game.
There's the flash. The Dark Binding lands onto Daydream, and the culling to deter Chris from jumping on in there. Doesn't quite really reduce him to ashes and dust, but it will have that effect onto the mid lane inhibitor. Oh my, Shifter, the damage. Too real for Captain Ziploc. He's going to back on off to his base. Chris looking to come back with a fresh set of HP from the fountain, and with the wave clear offered there by Zamfira, middle inhibitor stays alive.
To put the damage that Shifter puts out in perspective, he does about 600 damage with a Mystic Shot, even though he's AP Ezreal. He has some Lich Bane. Damage on Intended X, initiation on the Daydreamin'.
Daydream goes down, intervention on Nothing here, finally well timed, keeps him alive, and 3 for 2 right off the bat. There's on the hunt, a triple for Wiz Fusion. Can Zamfira and Chris deal with Wiz Fusion? The answer is no, and keep in mind Shifter's there with way too much damage to deal with. The carry lineup survives for Coast and looks to take down that bottom inhibitor for the second time.
Chris now has the backup of Zamfira with Fusion. Can he fight this?
The answer is no, and Zamfira takes him down. Shifter now looking to run away. Can he escape? Look at that damage from Shifter. He's just going to all-in Zamfira here in just a second. There's the wait through the bush. There's the arcane shift, but it's not enough. Chris with the shutdown, and that is a delayed ace on Team Coast.
Very, very well played from Zamfira. Was able to avoid the initiation from Ezreal. Like, if he'd moved forward with arcane shift and that had actually hit with the damage portion, that would have been enough to pick up Zamfira with a very easy Essence Flux landing. Or actually, even just the Arcane Shift on its own might have been enough. Could have been Spell Shielded, then Essence Flux and Auto Attack. Could have picked up that kill, so very well played by Zamfira in not dying there. Coast, they just got trounced in that fight. That was the well-played intervention to stop a lot of their damage. And actually now Daydream
now
is down.
double hunts on to Daydream, and Daydream goes down. That is the power. The hunt is on. Thrill the hunt, on the hunt, everything. Hunting down that Daydream, and the 4v5 power play right now. A lot of A's coming out in chat for Cognitive. Now they're gonna hide in the Wolf Pit. Is this the strategy that will win Cognitive the game? Oh, WizFusion.
They haven't been spotted by a ward, so this could be it. No, it will not be it.
Okay, there's a
Coast completely ignore that.
There's an entire half of the map, Studio, with no wards in it for Team Coast. Not really sure they're too eager to just walk into that when they can always take the option of walking down the middle lane into an uncontested inhibitors, or uninhibited middle lane as well. Now backing off for what may be Baron in a minute, but probably will just be a push here at that top lane turret.
They did not secure Baron themselves, but they do have the timer on it. And now it looks like it's their turn to set up the bush trap, and it looks like they might be successful this time. Chris, though, does spot them out on the Nintendo deck.
Black Shield onto Chris for the engage. Nintendo's just gonna straight up die. Zamfira goes unstoppable, finally getting the stacks he deserves. The Tipper's burst not effective onto Chris. His intervention will keep him alive, and at long last, Zamfira 12 stacks out of nowhere.
We haven't been keeping track, but yeah, with that ace, Zamfira is all of a sudden doing tremendous amounts of damage. He already hurt before, but now has a Triforce finish, now has some stacks in front of the Occult. Nothing here, doesn't have his ultimate available. That's fun. Can he pick up this kill? No, it's the calling! Securing that kill onto Nothing here. Host now moving towards mid lane. The calling being said in chat by Captain Ziploc.
He didn't capitalize it, so I'm not sure that necessarily counts. He's also not subscribed to the NACL Esports Twitch channel, so we cannot use our sexy subscriber emote. Chris going in there, does get stunned out. A little bit of a late Black Shield, but Chris will have that to disengage. Cleaver lands on a Daydream. More stacks for Zamfira. Where you at? The answer is running away. Shifter, can he get the kill? Will it be the auto attack to take him down? Yes, Shifter will fall though. Half the stack's gone, but Zion getting in there. Looking to get out as Chris now dangerous though. Captain Ziploc does pick up the counter kill onto Zion Spartan. WizFusion chasing Chris down, will not be able to find him. It's a 3 for 4. A 3 for 3 though. Chris survives, or 3 for 4, yeah, has nothing here. Respawns. Now going in onto WizFusion. Does have a ton of damage, but there's Nintendo Dex to try to turn this around. The culling blocked out. There's intervention. The DFG. WizFusion so low, but will it be a 1 for 1? It is, and now Chris. Nintendo Dex will disengage. Chris, though, going on the hunt. Thrill of the hunt there on the Nintendo. Looks to take him down. Half hit points already, and a nice vault breaker over the wall. Will disengage for now.
I mean, in the end, Cognitive, they're holding out. That's important. Their mid inhibitor has respawned. If they can keep their bottom inhibitor alive, which hopefully someone roams towards it in a second, then they'll actually be able to, survive, regain their foothold, and possibly go for a Baron, possibly go for more map control. This has been kind of a crazy game. Nothing here is actually starting to be relevant, and I say that because, that quintuple Doran's Ring start was not very effective at the 20 or 30 minute mark. However, now that he's finished that DFG, now that he has that Nashor's Tooth, he has really high damage, he has really good sustained damage because of the damage amplification from his DFG, and his burst is really high as well, with Kel's Reckoning being a great skill. Now Chris moving speedy on to Zion Spartan.
Going in there, Zion will unfortunately go down. He's gonna live, jumps away, he's gonna survive. Zane King throws on the sadism. Where's the cleaver? It's actually gonna be a bolo for the flash in from Chris. A huge true shot barrage there from Shifter. We're gonna get the AP burst damage onto Chris. It's a double kill for WizFusion as he turns the team fight around. It's a 2 for 2 so far, trading support and top laner for jungle and top lane. The hunt, the quest secured as Chris will be successful in his takedown of Zion Spartan.
Wait, no.
What? No!
He has it! The quest actually procced. It's not supposed to do that in this game.
It's supposed to only be for normal games, Studio. The head of Kha'Zix, a fully stacked bone tooth necklace for Chris in his inventory. I did not know that was possible. I have never seen that. But NACL Esports delivers. If you guys were looking for a completed hunt, the head of Kha'Zix now in Chris's inventory. Quest successful and permanently full stacks for Chris's Rengar.
And on that note, I've actually never seen the quest activate. I've never seen the head of Kha'Zix in anybody's inventory, so it's pretty cool to see that now. Zion Spartan, unfortunately, did not have his Guardian Angel, so now Chris... I guess a great trade there because it was a 2-for-2, but Chris got the head of Kha'Zix as a result.
You know, I guess this is a custom game, so it probably only doesn't happen in ranked games, which I can understand legitimately.
Well,
apparently it does happen in custom tournament matches.
Yeah, this is a tournament match, which is what it would make me think it shouldn't happen, but it did happen, so that's cool. Alright, I don't mind, because I like the quest, and I like that we actually got to see the head of Kha'Zix.
Alright, now this is an AP Ezreal True Shot Barrage, will actually kill all of those minions. I always hate seeing AD Ezreal's ult waves and get like 2 CS from that, but that's why you go AP Ezreal, so that you can't snipe that out. Nintendo taking a little bit of damage. Chris trying to turn this one around. Dark Binding underneath the turret. Ziploc has completed all the culling. What is that damage? I am unprepared to pronounce those words, and so are my vocal cords as Ziploc goes down there. What is even Wiz Fusion has? Alright, he's got 400 AD. Alright, now I'm a believer. Was able to take down Ziploc. That's how you get cold. Wiz Fusion and the rest of the team Ghost heading on towards Baron.
I mean, it's 8 shots a second, and they're dealing 133 damage each. That's about 1,000 damage per second. DPS and the culling is insane right now. Baron just being torn to pieces. It'll be a 45 initiation from Chris.
Chris is going to go in and get the intervention to block a little bit of that initial damage. Nintendo Dex goes down, but so does nothing here. Ziploc was already taken down before the fight even started. Zion Spartan looking to take down the stacks of Zamfira. One reset after another. It's a double kill for Wiz Fusion. It will close out the team fight. Flash over the wall there. Will Zane King be able to escape? The crits are so strong. Another culling. 2 cullings for the price of 1. And now Ziploc respawns. Zane King will stay alive. But oh my goodness, but how long will he stay alive for? Will get taken out there. Wiz Fusion with 2 kills on Ziploc over the course of 1 extended team fight.
Nothing here, up in 15. This could be GG. The inhibitors are being taken out, but there aren't any minions nearby. So it looks like Cognitive, they'll survive for a little bit longer. I mean, it's a rough game for them so far, but hey, at least they won't die right now. I mean, Ziploc, unfortunately, just not that effective anymore. Zamfira, when he died to that 1-for-1 versus Ezreal, is actually now the chase onto Zion Spartan from Zane King and Zip, or nothing here.
Yeah, he is going to go ahead.
Jeez.
He ulted away for that, so in some sense that is a moral victory, but only a 60-second cooldown there on Void Assault. So worth it to get Zion Spartan out of there alive, but for now, this is the push. Baron is available. Will Cognitive go for it and be able to take it down again? They are the only team that has had Baron so far. There's going to be Talisman of Ascension and On the Hunt. A crazy engagement by Chris, but can't quite make it happen.
And now, here comes the issue. How can Captain Ziploc survive long enough and get close enough to actually get a successful Soul Shackles? Because I don't think we've seen one for about 20 or 30 minutes, possibly this entire game. I don't know if there's been a good Soul Shackles that's gone off.
You know, the studio. Think with me here. The team composition from Cognitive could very well be specifically designed only to get Chris a successful head of Kha'Zix. He's got the intervention from Kale.
Maybe.
He's got the On the Hunt from Zamfira. He's got a Talisman of Ascension on Zane King. It's all working together, and so in some sense, it's already mission accomplished for Cognitive. And
Okay, wait, actually, no, this makes perfect sense, because something that has to happen for the Hunt quest to activate, it doesn't activate every game with Rengar and Kha'Zix. Rengar and Kha'Zix have to both be on relatively equal grounds. It can't be that one is far behind, one is super far ahead, like the 21 Rengar can't just kill the 0-20 Kha'Zix. Actually, Nintendo's in a lot of danger.
Oh, he could get taken out there. He's going to get locked up there. Does go down, and it's a nice pick-off kill, sniping Nintendo Dex away. Now pings onto Baron for Cognitive. Nothing here is actually starting to deal a ton of damage. 340 ability power. Lichbane, Deathfire Grasp, and Nashua's Tooth. Attempt to get in there onto Baron, but the disengaged Zane King starts to tank things up. A huge culling Ziploc does throw down the ultimate, and Azania's Hourglass stays alive for now, but in what Coast? It's going to be the entire team of Coast going in onto Baron. Won't start it, just looking to take down Cognitive as they will be forced to back away. Now it's Coast to look on maybe towards Baron, but possibly just on towards good positioning. Leaping out what will not be the wards. A re-engage by Chris, jumping in there on a Daydream, on a Shifter. It's going to be one kill. Nintendo Deck's still down, but is this going to be the kill for Zamfira? He does get taken down dangerously low. The Ignite is down, but so is Zane King. There's going to be the flash in there and a triple for Wiz Fusion off of a crazy crit that does take down nothing here.
All right. This could be it. They're pushing down towards that mid lane. There's a lot of minions nearby. The Coin comes out. Zamfira will go down. The barrier does nothing. Fighting does land on Wiz Fusion, so Captain Ziblock will be able to retreat back to base. And I think that's GG. GG coming out from Coast. It looks like they're going to be able to finish this off. And with that, Coast take this game. They do take out Shifter, the initial dive target, but it looks like the Nexus does still go down. GGWP coming out from both teams. That was a fantastic finish. The culling. Rapid the culling.